Unitarian Universalist Church, building community, inspiring growth, creating change. Here in the heart of Kansas City, we come together to create this hour of shared reflection so that we might be renewed in courage for these times and inspired to lives of greater dignity, higher purpose, deeper generosity, and more effective action. If you are new to Unitarian Universalism or to our congregation, we want to get to know you and share a part of your journey. If this place is already your spiritual home, welcome once more. We need one another, and it is good to be together again. Through the gifts of technology, we also gather virtually to celebrate community and connections as we lean into the values of justice, compassion, and reason. Welcome to all those who are joining us in this way today. Together, we learn the love that has the power to overcome both loneliness in the heart and oppression in the world. Welcome to our service this morning. May the words and music and images that we offer today nourish our best selves, calling forth abundant wisdom and love.
Arise, O souls, arise.
Good morning. That was nice. I love it. I'm Scott Hensey. I'm a member of All Souls, and it's my pleasure today to welcome you here on this quiet, slightly rainy morning after a tumultuous weekend. And I hope all of you have power or are in the process of getting power back in your house. We have the pleasure now of recognizing those visiting us for the first time. If you're a first-time visitor, please stand or raise your hand, and our ushers have a gift for you. Oh, we've got one over here. I love it. Definitely very, very non-committal. Just a little something to say thank you for joining us. Ushers will be passing out some gift bags. You are welcome here with all of the identities you hold and in your fullness as a person. We hope that you will bring your whole self to this time together. And following the service, we will be doing our Sunday Plus lunch. The Cassidy sisters have been working hard all weekend on this. For first-time visitors, you are welcome to lunch on us today. Visitors who have not shared a lunch with us, please, you need only to pick up a ticket at the welcome table and take that with you down the hall to the lobby, and lunch is on us today. We look forward to fellowship and conversation. And today, we're very lucky to welcome to the pulpit Reverend Sharon Dittmar. Reverend Dittmar graduated from Harvard Divinity School, in 1997. She served as minister for 18 years at the First Unitarian Church of Cincinnati. Since 2016, she has worked as a Congregational Life Consultant with MidAmerica Region of the UUA. Welcome, Reverend Dittmar.
If you are a dreamer, come in. If you are a dreamer, a wisher, a liar, a hoper, a prayer, a magic bean buyer, if you're a pretender, come sit by my fire, for we have some flax golden tales to spin. Come in, come in.
Please join us now in our covenant. Goodwill is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Please remain standing for our song.
This precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. We give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day.
You're here, Gigi. We got that. We got Sharon. This is a story called Circles All Around Us. And it is by Brad Montague. And the pictures that you get to see up on the screen are by Brad and Christy Montague. We begin by drawing a circle on the ground along each shoe. Thank you. A safe little place for just one person. Nobody in this circle but you. You could keep that circle closed to everyone but yourself. But that would be like a library with just one book on the shelf. That's a pretty silly sounding library, doesn't it? So let's draw a bigger circle for you and your family to share. Now you see what can happen in a circle full of care with you and your family. And I love that your little sibling in this picture is wearing a onesie with a unicorn horn. That's pretty great. Oh, thank you, Sharon. It becomes a happier circle as more loved ones come to stay. This is what colleagues are for. We help each other. And wouldn't it be even better if all your friends could come and play? So you stretch and draw your circle even bigger than it's been and let a few more people know they're welcome to come in. In the circles all around us, everywhere we go, there's a difference we can make and a love that we can all show. Ooh, I mean, look at this fun picture with people from all over the world saying hello. Yet, there are still so many outside of the circle who are different in all that they do. Though it feels slightly uncomfortable, we draw a bigger circle for them too. It doesn't mean the circle is easy. It can get harder the more we share. But wonderful things can happen when love is known and felt everywhere. Sharing all of the donuts. As time passes, our eyes open. We see others we really care for. And that's when we ask ourselves, well, what's this circle really there for? So let us create bigger circles all around us for the rest of our days. Let our caring ripple out in a million little ways. In the circles all around us, everywhere that we all go, there's a difference we can make and a love we can all show. That's an astronaut. As our circles grow and grow around the entire world, and we watch them wonder-eyed, remember, the first circle started with just the love you hold inside. Thank you so much, my wonderful friends who are young and young at heart, for joining us for that story, and let us sing our young people to their classes.
Go now in peace, may love guide all your ways. Beauty be the blessings of your nights and days. Truth on your lips and kindness in your deeds. Faith to follow where the human spirit leads.
Good morning. I'm Bob Miller. I'm on the board as treasurer this year. Although our primary source of income comes from your annual pledges, this Sunday morning offering is another way everyone can help pay for this place where we gather on Sunday mornings and during the week, and for the salaries of our wonderful ministers and staff. This place, our ministers and staff, and you are what make real our mission as a church community. The offering will now be gratefully received. Please join me in the dedication of the offering. We dedicate our offerings and our actions to the mission at the heart of this congregation, to build a respectful, caring community, to inspire personal and spiritual growth, and to create change toward a just and compassionate society.
Good morning. Good morning. Today's reading is by Pulitzer Prize-winning poet and National Book Award author Mary Oliver. Reverend Dittmar notes that the language is gendered and invites all of us to mentally edit it to feel most meaningful and supportive to you. It's called When Death Comes. When death comes, like the hungry bear in autumn, when death comes and takes all the bright coins from his purse to buy me and snaps the purse shut. When death comes like the measles pox. When death comes like an iceberg between the shoulder blades. I want to step through that door full of curiosity, wondering, what's it going to be like, that cottage of darkness? And therefore, now I look upon everything as a brotherhood and a sisterhood. And I look upon time, it's no more than an idea. And I consider eternity another possibility. And I think of each life as a flower, as common as a daisy, but just as singular. And each name, a comfortable music in the mouth, tending like all music does toward silence. And each body, a lion of courage, something precious to the earth. And when it's over, I want to be able to say, all my life, I was a bride to amazement. I was a bridegroom taking the world into my arms. When it's over, I don't want to wonder if I've made of my life something particular, something real. I don't want to find myself sighing and frightened or full of argument. I don't want to end up simply having visited this world.
I choose to be a bride married to amazement. I chose other ideas first. You probably wouldn't be surprised. To begin with, I tried preparing for the worst. Interestingly, it could not protect me from what could and did go wrong. Turns out I really just wasn't imaginative enough. Beyond that, it was utterly exhausting and depressing, imagining any and every doomed potential future. After that, I tried denial, and that got me into trouble, not attending to the obvious and necessary. Much later, I chose a middle way, aware of the valley of pain and loss on one side, and just always with us, right? And every gift and opportunity on the other side, also always with us. And between them rests sort of a path that bobs and weaves, a path of present wonder, gratitude, and amazement. One thing I learned serving in parish ministry for 19 years is that, as the great Dr. Abraham Joshua Heschel says in his Yom Kippur essay, scratch the skin of any person and you come upon sorrow, frustration, unhappiness, People are pretentious. Everybody looks proud. Inside, they are heartbroken. From the inside seat of parish ministry, I watched apparently successful members and their families struggle with life-threatening illnesses, addictions, affairs, financial ruin, suicide, traumatic injury and accidents, dementia, even the death of children, which I just will never understand. It all can happen. I have been with people as it all happened. And it was from this seat, with these teachers, journeying with them, that I learned I could never prepare for all the possibilities, nor know which ones to expect when, if ever, might become part of my personal story. Early in my ministry, I remember visiting an older couple in the hospital. You must imagine baby minister me, 30 years old, no gray hairs, not yet ordained, in a chaplain residency program. The woman said to me, looking at her dying husband, "How could this happen to us? We were missionaries." And I remember simultaneously realizing death is inevitable and uncontrollable, a hungry bear in autumn, and that no good works nor benevolent God offers immortality in this life. I also realized, looking into her grieving face, that there was just nothing for me to say other than, "I am just so very sorry. This must be so hard for you." Bad things happen to good people, and wonderful things happen to people who behave very badly. From this, I have concluded that neither I nor anyone else is fully in control. Rather, we're just in a river of life, and there are floods and droughts and electricity that goes out, and there's hail. And then there's lazy calm days and seasonal changes. We can put up some guardrails, like life insurance or wills. We can ask for help as often as we need it, and we really should, even to the, quote, annoyance of medical providers, therapists, and financial planners. What are they there for? They're paid. But when the lights go out, when that hungry bear comes, we will not have prepared for everything. Attempting to be fully prepared is just exhausting. It requires constant, depressing vigilance, imagining those future harms, and it's a hard, deadening way to live. Also a great way to ruin the possible now. A few years ago, I took part in a local leadership program. We were asked to do an exercise that I hated. We were instructed to walk around to 30 people we did not know, had not met, look them in the eye and say either, "I trust you," or "I don't trust you." I know, it's horrible. Don't do that here, okay? Don't do that here. I know neither the benefit nor purpose of this exercise. I certainly remember its multiple cringeworthy moments as I approached another human. And I remember the response of one classmate. Now, this classmate, the shortest man in the class by far, one who could be considered, quote, vulnerable given his size, who had to look up to everyone else as they approached, said, "I trust you," to every person present. When the instructor later asked him why he did this, he replied, "It actually doesn't matter if I trust you. I trust myself. And I trust myself to figure it out. So I trust you." He changed the frame of the entire exercise to empower himself. Much later, I learned that he grew up as an immigrant in a biracial family amidst poverty and multiple challenges, and then made a series of serious mistakes that endangered his life, like some of us do. And then he figured it out. These days, he does not waste time remaining vigilant and worrying about the future. He's a much sought-after executive. He chooses to name his frame and believes that when problems arise, he's gonna figure it out. So he chooses to live loud and proud in the present and have fun. The present's the only moment we're actually in and have. It's a choice he makes, not based on ignorance, but knowledge and commitment to the present. And it amazed me how one excruciatingly awkward exercise could unexpectedly teach me the importance of choosing my own frame. What I learned from all these teachers is to love the now, to dig deeply into it, to savor it, to make time for fun and friends and family and building community, to live into one's own joy. When I became a minister, I used to see this quote by the minister and literature professor Joseph Campbell everywhere, "Follow your bliss," those of us of a certain generation and up might remember. I don't see this quote on walls anymore, but Campbell was onto something. In the words of theologian and civil rights leader Howard Thurman, don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it, because what the world needs is people who have come alive. What makes me come alive is wonder. I'm actually insatiably curious, and I find it in the present, the eternal now. I've actually had to learn to not be intrusive curious, just like observant and open to conversations that could develop. I was reading something that said people with wonder and curiosity do better in school, they do better at work, and they have more happiness. They're just always entertaining themselves with curiosity and new information and different relationships and experiences. Wonder. And I remember that when death comes, like the hungry bear in autumn, when death comes and takes all the bright coins from their purse to buy me and snaps that purse shut, when death comes like the measles pox, when death comes like an iceberg between the shoulder blades, I want to step through the door full of curiosity, wondering, what's it going to be like in the cottage of darkness? And therefore, I look upon everything as a siblinghood. And I look upon time as no more than an idea, and I consider eternity as another possibility. And I think of each life as a flower, as common as a field daisy and as singular. And each name a comfortable music in the mouth, tending as all music does towards silence. And each body a line of courage and something precious to the earth. When it's over, I want to say all my life I was married to amazement. I took the world into my arms. When it's over, I don't want to wonder if I've made of my life something particular and real. I don't want to find myself sighing and frightened or full of argument. I don't want to end up simply having visited this world. I do not want a mere visit, friends. I want to go out and submerge myself in wonder. When I was offered to go to Jack Stack's last night, I took the invitation. That's right. I ate that barbecue. I loved it. You're my favorite barbecue. You know, I'm not into vinegary barbecue, and you know all about barbecue, but I loved it. And then I had company, you know. I had 2 colleagues, and I had a spouse of a colleague there, and I work alone a lot. The wonder. Being in a place with community and colleagues. Dip in that pool. When I go out walking, I do a simple exercise taught to me by my colleague, Reverend Phil Lund. So this is what he taught. Consider sight, sound, smell, sense, sky, and stance. So I look at my surroundings as a temporarily abled person. I listen, I inhale deeply, I feel the air on my skin, you know, is it humid or crisp or is it cold? I look at the sky and I feel my body. And if you try this, adapt this exercise to whatever level of mobility and sensory function available to you. So I used to walk, with my head down, lost in thought, generally about the past or future, right? I described myself to you. With this exercise, though, I am in the present. I smell rain in the air, or decaying earth in the fall, or that sharp, crisp smell you get in the summer that tells you that rain is right about to come. I feel the quality of the air. Is it damp or dry or windy? And I see tree buds, they come alive, and then they're huge, and then they get smaller and do different things. When walking with me, one needs to put up with my shouts of delight at things I see, hear, touch, feel, smell. Yes, it can be a challenge to go walking with me. I notice how my body feels. Is it stiff? Is it flexible? Is it even? It's never even. Sometimes I go walking and I'm like, why am I limping, right? Sometimes then I check in more deeply with how it is with my body. And at least once on every walk, I look up at the sky, Is it blue? Is it overcast? Is it foggy gray, I can pretend I'm in London. Or are there puffy evening clouds with just a breakthrough last pink shaft of light? We have an art museum outside every day. And it's when I look up at the sky that I'm filled most with wonder, and I think of what a gift it is to be alive and how just everything changes. Every walk is a new discovery, a new adventure, even if it is on the same path, right? I just have the same streets I walk on over and over. And I am reminded that every moment passes, right? There have been some years I couldn't walk around a block, right? Everything passes. Every moment, the bad ones, the good ones, the great ones too, they pass as well. And this has taught me to be more grateful for what is, and to remember that nothing lasts, so honor now and give and receive love where I find it. I remind myself nothing is given, nothing, and reach out just for what is now. And I don't want to mislead you into thinking that because I choose wonder, which I do, it's wonderful all the time. I have losses and grief too. I wake sometimes in the night unable to sleep. I'm scared about the state of American democracy. I'm terrified about the upcoming election, I won't lie. I'm worried about the war in Ukraine. I worry about deforestation and species extinction. It's actually really on my mind. I really worry about armed rebels in the Democratic Republic of Congo and what's going on there around mineral rights and the government in Rwanda. These are the things I dive into and worry about. I worry deeply about the over-incarceration of Black, brown, and poor people in the United States. And I worry far too much about my spectacularly crabby and failing mother. Oh, yeah. While writing this sermon, I learned that a dear friend my age, a friend from high school, had died during COVID. He didn't die from COVID, but he died then, and I didn't know about it. And just someone who changed my life for good is now gone. So I, too, am scared. I, too, am heartbroken. 19th century essayist and philosopher Henry David Thoreau wrote about wanting to, quote, suck out all the marrow of life. For him, this included living a quiet, somewhat self-reliant life on Walden Pond in Concord, Massachusetts. Don't let him fool you. He got a lot of help, okay? You should know that. All his writing about living alone, he was chit-chatting with folks and getting help and going to the store. He really was. My definition is a bit different, but I too understand wanting to suck the marrow out of life in my own chosen way. And I recently watched a video, it was actually last fall, by this slam poet, Andrea Gibson, who I follow. I follow her on Instagram. I really enjoy her. Actually, them. And in it, they speak of going home with a woman, and before their first kiss, the woman runs to get a stethoscope so that Andrea can hear the woman's heart beat faster as they kiss. Oh, you're the first group I've preached that to has laughed, and I think that's marvelous. That story is just so beautiful to me. What a delightful way to suck the marrow out of life with just one kiss. I want to hear what happens, right? It's so present to the moment, so simple, so possible, so blissful, so alive. Here's a tweet from Andrew Gibson from this past fall. Awkwardness is my new drug of choice. Nothing gets me higher than uncomfortable situations. In today's newsletter, I wrote about how I've been on a mission to embarrass myself regularly. Have a beautifully awkward day, everyone. Heart emoji. And their newsletter from September 13th contains this story. This is September 13th, 2022. Years ago, on tour in Europe, my friends and I dared our friend Katie to walk through a crowded travel plaza with a 20-foot strand of toilet paper dragging from her shoe, complaining loudly in a deep Midwestern accent about how there was no place in the world good as America. She made a humiliating spectacle of herself. We were high on that embarrassment for days. Gibson, who I do follow, was diagnosed with a reoccurrence of cancer this spring. I know. They're younger than me. And most days, I just can't keep up with the roller coaster of life. But it's no reason to turn away from the wonder every day. I think it's wonderful that anyone loves me. I mean, when you think about it, right? That there's this thing called love, and whether it is your pet or a human or a parent that might be long gone, a neighbor. It's extraordinary. There's so many ways to live in wonder, in bliss, to be alive as the world just collides around us. I truly hope for each of us to take care during the hard times. Take care. To ask for help. Not even Thoreau was making it alone. To reach for the present wonder as often as possible, whenever and wherever you find it. Maybe even experiment with humiliating spectacle and awkwardness. See what happens. It's really a delightful exercise for us. We're a bit of the put together, educated people. What if we were the disastrously loud and awkward people for just an hour or a minute? However you do what you do, make it a great day. And may it always be so. Please now rise in body or spirit as you are moved to join in singing When the Spirit Says Do.
You got to do when the Spirit says do. You got to do when the Spirit says do. When the Spirit says do, you've got to do. Oh yeah, you've got to do when the Spirit says do. You got to sing when the Spirit says sing. You got to sing when the Spirit says sing. When the Spirit says sing, you got to sing. Oh yeah, you got to sing when the Spirit says sing. You got to dance when the Spirit says dance. You got to dance when the Spirit says dance. When the Spirit says dance, you got to dance. Oh yeah, you got to dance when the Spirit says dance. You got to laugh when the Spirit says laugh. You got to laugh when the Spirit says laugh. When the Spirit says laugh, you've got to laugh. Oh yeah, you've got to laugh when the Spirit says laugh. You got to shout when the Spirit says shout. You got to shout when the Spirit says shout. When the Spirit says shout, you've got to shout. Oh yeah, you've got to shout when the Spirit says shout. You got to do when the Spirit says do. You got to do when the Spirit says do. When the Spirit says do, you got to do. Oh yeah, you got to do when the Spirit says do. You've got to do when the Spirit says do. You've got to do when the Spirit says do.
Please be seated. Before I extinguish your chalice, I just want to say, I do work for the UUA. I've heard that some of you have had a hard time with the UUA. I offer my sincere apologies. I think you are a fantastic congregation. You have greeted me with hospitality, warmth, food, kindness, hugs, asks if I needed anything. Your worship team is extraordinary, from your lay members to your staff. Your technology is superb. And you are an urban congregation. You can do whatever you want, and you're going to figure it out. So you do what you want to do. I'm glad I was here to visit with you. Where is that big? Oh. So friends, go out into the world in peace and have courage. Hold on to what is good. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Return to no person evil for evil. Support the weak. Help the suffering. And honor all persons. Please, as you have fun. Amen.
Go lift it up, love bless your way. Moonlight, starlight, guide your journey into peace and the brightness of day.